Hello everyone, welcome to Tom and Arnold Talk Movies. I'm Tom, this is Arnold.
Hello.
Today we're going to be talking about Possession, written and directed by Andrzej Zulawski. The cast includes Sam Neill, Isabelle, Adjani and Heinz Bennett. So the plot of this one, it follows characters Mark and Anna at the end of their marriage and the surreal and violent journey, the breakdown of their relationship takes them on. Arnold, what did you think of Possession?
Well, I didn't. I liked it, but I didn't love it. I do have my problems with the film. It's a very well paced film, except for the last sort of 30 minutes. But it's, I don't know. It's like the film kind of loses its sort of way in terms of, because it can be really humorous at times, but unintentionally. And
Or maybe intentionally, I think.
well, maybe. But at the same time, there's a lot of sort of weird artistic sort of choices that, you know, I'm not really a big fan of. For instance, the acting style and the dialogue sort of style as well. What about you?
I liked it a bit as well. I think it is a bit too long.
Oh, very long.
And like it feels like not really anything is happening apart from the same thing in different ways.
Yeah, it's like the problem I have is that it's a bit too long, especially the sort of domestic sort of dispute scenes with Sam and Anna, because it goes on a bit too long, and like it feels like it's sort of, it could be cut off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
In terms of like plot, it feels like breakup, argument, something happens, argument, blah 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 blah.
Yeah,
But like,
yeah.
I do really love the fucking mood of this film and the
Yeah.
weird fucking style.
The atmosphere is really great because the film is filmed in Berlin, and it's set during
Berlin
the
Wall.
Yeah,
That's-
exactly.
That's a fucking great
Yeah, and you
backdrop.
see those sort of old, sort of dilapidated buildings, those sort of war-torn buildings, and it sort of adds that atmosphere of isolation and sort of, you know, that ominous sort of feeling of terror, and you know, I do think it adds to that, which I quite like.
The film fucking operates at a fucking like cheetah's fucking pace, man. It's like that plot,
Yeah.
that plot that I wrote down. That's as basic as I could fucking get it.
Yeah,
because
without having to mention all these other
yeah,
factors
yeah.
thrown in.
This happens, and then there's like a weird fucking worm creature thing. It's like I was not expecting that. When I like before I watched this, the only scene I'd seen was that one where she's sort of in the train station and she's like freaking out and all that.
Yeah,
My sort of thought was, oh, this is going to be like a romantic sort of thriller
yeah.
where like you've got this couple who are like in love and, you know, shit goes down.
It's a more so. I mean, it's still kind of a psychological thriller, but it's like
yeah.
you've got other sort of styles thrown
yeah,
in
well,
there.
I suppose
Yeah.
it is a romantic thriller
Yeah.
as well, to do with the whole sort of breakdown of the relationship. But it's just like I was not expecting it to go this fucking mad.
Yeah,
Like there is like a fucking weird worm octopus monster thing.
but it's not like there for shock value. Do you know what
No,
I mean? It
well,
feels
maybe.
I think in terms of the way they set up for the sort of, you know, reveal of the creature, I think it is intended to be shocking, but it still makes sense in terms of the narrative, I think, especially when you go through the perspective of Anna's character and Sam's character.
I think with this film, possibly why I'm not like, oh, this is like one of the best things ever. I do like it a lot with the weirdness, but I
Yeah.
think it's because maybe this is like too clever for me, and I don't understand what it's all supposed to be about.
I think this is one of those films I think you have to watch a couple of times, and that's not
Yeah,
necessarily a
yeah,
bad
yeah.
thing. Doesn't mean just because you didn't sort of appreciate it first time round doesn't mean it's, you know.
No, it's like it's more just sort of like, right, that worm monster thing. That's probably something to
A
do with-
representation,
yeah, but what
you
does
know.
it mean? And you know, what does anything mean?
Yeah.
And it's just like, it feels like one of them where like probably people who were like proper Kino boys, they probably fucking, oh, this is actually about this, but I
mean, I've got a couple of theories. I mean, I think that whole like creatures sort of, I think that represents Anna's mental health.
because the film is called Possession.
Yeah.
Like maybe it's a bit more literal. Maybe she's getting possessed.
I
something
think
like that.
she's in a sense because, you know,
But maybe that's a mental health.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Maybe
yeah.
that's the sort of
Plus,
possession.
you sort of consider those attitudes of those times with husband and wife relationships, and like, you know, Mark is fairly possessive of Anna, as well as Heinrich. as well as that creature.
Possession,
So
yeah, very
there's
good.
that sort of, idea. That scene where she's in just before. Well, it's just during the bit where she goes into the subway underground station thing, and she sort of has this sort of moment where she's literally mentally battling with this sort of conflicted feelings, because there's a sense where she sort of wants to go back to a sort of normal state with, her husband Mark and and the child and that, and then she's also, she's so infatuated with this creature that she's almost torn apart as well. And that scene where she's sort of she's like throwing up milk or something.
Yeah.
And it's like, that scene is so amazingly well performed. I mean, it reminded me of something like you'd see from like The Return, Twin Peaks.
Yeah, there's a few things. Well, not David Lynch, but like there's a few directors. Also, I want to say before I forget that Heinrich guy, Heinz Bennett. I swear to God, he looks like Anthony Hopkins, man. You said he don't. I think he's the double of Anthony Hopkins.
I'd
man.
have to watch it again.
I think he's the double of him, man. I swear.
Really?
Down. Look at fucking. I'm gonna put a fucking comparison right now. Look at him now. Can you see the clip that's on the screen right now?
Yeah.
And now look at Anthony Hopkins in The Elephant Man. Don't you think they look alike? Another thing I just want to mention as well with that character, that Heinz Bennett, like that scene when he's like, we was talking about directors, sorry.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And let me just say this. There's a bit where he's like answers the door and he's talking to Sam Neill's character and he's just like dancing and like, what the fuck is he doing?
And that
man?
and that bit where I think Mark goes to, I think he like tries to fight him and he gets knocked out in the most campiest sort of Batman 60s style. He does that thing when he goes, "Hey!" Almost like John Pertwee sort of style of Doctor Who. It's like it's so hilariously camp. I do think you're right, actually. I do think the film might be intentionally hilarious at times.
I think it is.
Because it's not just that. There are some other moments as well. It almost seems like, is this sort of a parody or something? But like, it's not just that. It's the hammy acting I find is really kind of hilarious, because there's that scene where Mark and Anna, they both meet up at a cafe, and like, Mark says something about like, I don't want to be a part of my son's life because it will, mentally fuck him up even more. And like, he starts throwing out chairs and like, get out. It's almost like, is this a joke?
Yeah, and
like,
the way it cuts.
Yeah.
And there's so many like cuts.
It's almost like deadpan.
It really is, and it's like what you said about like the dialogue. It's like it's so melodramatic.
It's really artsy.
Yeah, it's really stiff. Though,
Yeah,
and like
exactly.
It's really fucking.
It's
weird,
like
man.
it's like I don't know if the dialogue has something to do with the translation, or
That's
or if it's something to do with this sort of artsy sort. Because there are moments where like Anna's character is a sort of monologue piece where Mark sees a sort of old recording of Anna and she's at a ballet class and she has this sort of monologue about faith and chance, stuff like that, and it's really sort of over the top in terms of like poetry and stuff like that. And it's like I did think the dialogue was sort of jarring, because it personally put me off, because dialogue doesn't have to necessarily be realistic all the time. It's a film, but it's like, when you get moments of like, come and see our son, come and admire him while he's bathing. It's like, what the hell?
Yeah.
And it's like, there's that bit where Mark's talking to Anna on the phone, and he finds out about the affair and that, and he goes, "Oh, do you sleep with him? Do you like it?"
Yeah.
it's just like,
it's so strange.
it's so weird, and I don't know if that's an intentional style based on the director, because, like I said, it just. You have a trouble in terms of taking the film seriously to the point where the dialogue is so unrealistic. It's like, what is this film? Yeah.
Sam Neill, I haven't forgot, by the way. I still want to mention the director's thing.
Go on.
But like, before I get to that, Sam Neill is fucking great, man.
He is.
He's got such a menacing look. It sounds random, but he reminded me of fucking Gary Newman from the fucking Cars video for some reason. You said Mark Hamill, didn't you?
He looked a bit like Mark Hamill, like Luke Skywalker.
Like at the end
70s.
where he's got like all the black in.
and he's like rejuvenated.
Yeah,
this creature.
And that creature is like, maybe that means something, like the creature eventually turns into him.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up, Thomas, because because you've got this creature that's become the new father, and then we meet a sort of doppelganger version of Anna. and she's a school teacher. She's got green eyes.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's like, is that meant to? Because this film is essentially about a divorce.
Yeah,
and it's like, are those meant to symbolise the replacement parents or
Maybe
something?
Maybe she's a tulpa. Oh.
Coffee time.
But yeah, like, that was sort of left ambiguous. I really liked, spoilers, the last shot of the film where, Sam Neill's, like, he's become this creature in there. Well, separate character, but yeah. It goes through the door, and, like, the son's, like, begging the school teacher not to open it. And, like, you hear, like air raid sirens.
Yeah.
And it's, like, gunshots and all this weird noise. And, like, and, like, the last shot, you see the school teacher's face. And she's got that Kubrick stare, and it's like, that's pretty cool.
Well, brilliant you mentioned Kubrick, because now we'll get into the fucking directors I was going to mention, because
Go ahead.
I feel like this is definitely inspired by sort of Kubrick. The camera movements and the way it sort of goes in and out, especially that scene where it's sort of towards the beginning, where he's having like a meeting, and that's another thing going off topic. The pink socks. What the fuck was that? Like, it turns out the guy at the end had pink socks on.
Yeah, because pretty early on, because you know what's weird as well? Sam Neill plays a spy. Like, his character's a spy.
I didn't even fucking...
Do you remember? Okay.
I got he did something like that.
Because the organisation, they wanted him to stay on because he had like another mission set up for him, and he goes, no, I don't want to because I want to spend more time with my family. And like, he mentioned something about this person he's meant to spy on, and it's wearing... Oh, did he wear pink socks?
Does our subject still wear pink socks?
And it's like oddly weird setup where it's sort of forgotten about for most of the film's running time. And then at the very end, where it's obviously so forced, he goes to check his socks.
Yeah.
And it's like...
And it's the guy who sort of gave him the mission or something. He's in that, like...
Yeah.
Thing. It's like the fucking prisoner, man. Like, when they're sitting in that, and you've got one with an eye patch, you've got one who's got sort of mad hair. It was fucking weird. But the directors, it's like... There's definitely some Kubrick in there. I feel there's a bit of Dario Argento in there, which would have sort of been around the same time. But I also think this film might have had an influence on Gaspar Noé.
One of my very favorite movies ever.
Because of that sort of chaotic sort of fucking way the film is, like, go, just chaos. I did get sort of climax and Lux Eterna vibes with this.
Also, another director, Cronenberg, because of the creature.
Yeah.
Because
definitely.
it reminded me of a film that we spoke about, The Brood, where it's that sort of that shock element with the creature, and like you see the creature sort of progress into sort of, because it starts off with this sort of weird, abominable, like sort of squid-like tentacle thing, and then it becomes more of a humanoid shape. You still see the tail in that. And then it's like, it's very Cronenberg in the sense where you see it on the bed and you see blood everywhere and she's like mopping it all up. It's like, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like I said, the film is essentially about a divorce and like how it changes, the parents, the child especially, because the child has nightmares. How the environment is sort of disrupted because of that lack of stability with the parents breaking up and how that affects the child. That has a lot to sort of, play around with as well, which I really liked.
This might be pretentious as fuck, but like, you saying that has gave me an idea of what this film's about.
Go ahead.
Maybe this is sort of like a divorce from the eyes of a child.
Yeah.
Now let's go.
Go
let's
ahead.
Go because like, think about it, right? He knows that his mum, all he sees is his mum and dad arguing. When that kid is that young, arguing, like, he thinks like a little argument can be really bad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So there's that. The whole thing about the teacher looking exactly like the mum, that could be like, is the kid like, is that the new mum? You know what I mean? And all that shit.
Yeah. And like with Sam Neill's as the rejuvenated creature, that could be like the replacement dad.
Yeah. But also maybe like, because he's hearing like outside, he's not eavesdropping, whatever the fucking thing is, but like he's hearing about this other person whose mom's with, and to him maybe that's like a monster.
Yeah.
And it's replacing his dad. So like, maybe we've just fucking cracked this film.
It's like a weird coping mechanism.
Yeah. So I suppose that could be it, but who fucking knows? But I really like this film, actually.
It's like, the more you think about it, the more you know what, this is genius.
It does, and as well that sort of Argento sort of style where it's a bit weird. Like, it reminded me a bit of Phenomena, where that phenomena has some mad moments, like
Yeah.
the monkey thing phenomena. That was fucking
It does
weird.
get exhausting though after some time.
I
It's
think
like you kind of think, how long's this? You
I
know?
kind of wanted it to just get to something else. After a
Yeah.
while. But I think when you rewatch it and you know what's to come, it probably be a lot better.
Yeah.
Although I'll probably never rewatch this because half the films I never fucking rewatch.
Another hilariously, whether unintentional or not, is the bit where Mark hires a secret detective to find out Anna and her address, her secret address. And it's like it's so fucking hilarious because it's like he's not even trying, this detective. He's not even. He's like the most like conspicuous fucking person.
It's like
you'll ever
fucking Pink Panther, man.
Yeah, and I think he walks in front of her or something, and you can obviously tell Anna's like distressed from this, and it's like, I swear, if you added some sort of fucking stupid Scooby Doo music, it would just seem like a fucking sketch moment.
It's when he like follows her like up the stairs and everything, and he goes up the
and he
stairs.
goes back. It's like, what the fuck?
It's like if he's a private investigator or whatever, like how the fuck, man?
I know,
like,
it's oh my,
it's so ridiculous. I remember that.
And it's like the film. I think the film's tone's really inconsistent in that sort of sense. And then it's like when he does finally call it, it's like he pretends to be he pretends to be part of the housing association to check on like the windows or something, and then like Anna kills him.
Yeah.
Straight off, and it's like, what the fuck? Literally, yeah. It's like, what the fuck,
This
man?
film has definitely got to be fucking hilarious, like intentionally.
Yeah,
funny,
it's
man.
gotta be.
It's gotta be. I fucking love it. I wish there was more films like this. This is the
Yeah,
best film ever made.
It proper is, man. It proper is.
Well, it makes you fucking think, don't it? It's so fucking interesting.
There's another scene as well, which is fucking hilarious. That cracked me up. Is the fact that fucking when Mark tries to, he basically sends Heinrich to Anna's secret address, and like he gets attacked by Anna as well. He gets like stabbed, and it's like then Mark tells him to wait at a pub, even though he's fucking bleeding to death.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, and it's like, what the fuck? It makes no sense logically, but it's like, I don't care at the same time. You know what I mean?
It's very sort of like, yeah, it's just, this is one of those films, just fucking go with it.
Yeah.
It's just like, I think the film is supposed to be like that. I don't think it's, I don't, if it's not supposed to be funny, then this is
Maybe
a bad film, but it's a good film. I don't know. This is just a fucking weird fucking film, man. It's just like, it's weird in the sense that it's like surreal, and it's like, what does everything mean? But then it's weird in the way it's actually made as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's hard to put your finger on what it is.
It proper feels like Twin Peaks.
It is. It's like that lynching type. I was trying to avoid the lynching
But
thing,
you gotta have
because
to say it.
it is, but it's just like they were sort of around at the same time. I mean, you think this was 77 was Eraserhead.
Yeah, this was a couple of years after.
Yeah, what was after?
Elephant Man was 1980, wasn't it?
1980.
Yeah.
So I mean, and then he did Dune. So I don't want to say there's there might be a Lynchian influence, but you can't really say that when,
because you have to consider
who was about, you know. What
yeah,
I mean?
and you got to consider like what films he made before this director, like
Yeah,
his
yeah.
filmography.
We need to have a look into this guy.
Fucking trust me.
Hopefully he's not a bad bloke. Hopefully.
You said it now.
Yeah, we're just gonna.
He's like a piece of shit.
Yeah, hopefully not. But
Oh no.
I wonder if he's still alive. Let's check. We'll
Do
be
it.
right back, everyone. Let's just check if he's still alive. It turns out he passed away a few years ago,
Oh,
and luckily he wasn't a bad bloke. He was a
that's
good
good.
lad.
That's reassuring.
So yeah, very good. It looks like from here that he did a lot of sort of not unknown stuff. Fidelity, I've heard of that.
Yeah, that rings a bell.
2000s. Anyway, this will just turn into a Wikipedia.
Yeah,
fucking
innit.
thing.
But
Very good film.
yeah, very good film. I think when I mentioned earlier that whole bit where Mark finds out that Anna is having an affair with this creature, that's all very good. But then the pacing is so fucking crap from there on, because there's that scene where Mark visits Heinrich's mother to tell him about Heinrich, and it never really goes anywhere, because I think she commits suicide because obviously her son's not around, and it's something really pretentious about like, oh, his soul's not there anymore.
You've just reminded. See, this is what I mean. It's fucking.
Yeah, it's
this
so
is
much
funny.
to unload.
But do you remember the way Mark kills Heinrich? where
In the fucking toilet.
he drowns him in a toilet. But if the first thing he does, he takes the top off, the system.
Yeah.
Takes that off, whacks him around the
I
end of
know.
it, and then puts his head. Oh my! And he puts his shoe in the toilet so
And
it doesn't flush. This film is fucking mad, man. Oh, this is fucking great.
Fucking brilliant, man. But yeah, it's like, but that I think that whole like Heinrich's mother, that could have been taken out. Like I think that was not needed at all. But then flash forward to the ending. Holy fuck! Does it get even more crazy, man? It's the bit where like this secret organization catches up to him, and like he still refuses to. Yeah, he still refuses to join them or whatever. And then like there's like a weird chase sequence or something.
Yeah, it's just a big shootout.
Yeah, there's a big shootout, and like he gets faintly wounded by it, and then he shoots some random guy with an eye patch.
Yeah,
and
wasn't he in the film earlier though?
I think
the eye
so.
patch
I
guy.
can't remember.
I think he was.
Probably. And then he goes back to his apartment, and then suddenly like they're all out there with police officers getting ready to take down. And then Anna follows him. Bear in mind, Anna is with the creature, now fully rejuvenated into, and then they all catch up together. And then I'm trying to process now, like, I think Mark gets shot again or something.
I don't fucking know, man.
Oh, yeah. I think Anna gets shot by machine guns. And then, like, obviously, the creature's, like, he's immune to whatever for some reason. And, like, Mark falls down. Like, he falls to his death. And then you get to the scene where the creature goes to the apartment. And, like, the kid's like, don't let him in, don't let him in. And that's it. Fucking hell.
It's mad, isn't it?
Fuck. Yeah. Multiple viewings is certainly required.
Yeah. Good though. Very
fucking
good.
sick, man.
Is that
It's
it?
like,
Oh,
yeah.
no, carry on.
Yeah, it's just funny because like we both said, we liked it. It's all right. Like I said, I still have my issues with it, but it's like when you really do take your time to really think out
about
loud.
it. Yeah, it's fucking insane,
great.
man. Brilliant.
That's all I gotta say.
Is that it then? Yeah,
That's
for
it.
Possession. Fucking brilliant, man.
Yeah.
Very good film. Very fucking surreal, mad, insane film. So yeah, thank you, Andrzej Zulawski. I don't know where this thanking of the director.
I know it's fine. I'm cool with it.
Thank you, Andrzej Zulawski, and Sam Neill and Isabelle Adjani for giving us this. A weird little thing. I don't know why I'm bringing this up, but I've been reading Jurassic Park, and like Sam Neill's been in my brain, and it's weird. It's weird that he popped up.
And
in
it's
this.
funny because I watched Event Horizon before I watched Possession.
Sam Neill's fucking.
I
great,
know,
man.
yeah, omnipotent.
but yeah. Thank you everyone for watching this, and we'll see you in another video where we talk about The Incredible Genie.